Hi everybody, I'm Janae and welcome back here to my channel. And today I want to talk about platforms and specifically about the fact that we all have one. So we are in such a unique time period in our existence right now because it wasn't that long ago that we didn't have this immediate access where we could jump online or on our phone, our little mini computers, that we have with us everywhere we go. We couldn't do that before. We couldn't just jump on there and share our thoughts and our feelings and our reactions and connect with people all around the entire globe, not just within our neighborhood or our school system or our local community. And now we have that. Now we have access to our own platforms. And I was thinking about this because, there was a time period when I thought, oh, I really can't do very much here. I felt really upset and overwhelmed and depressed because I saw so many things going on in the world and I would hear about them and stuff. And I was like, I don't even want to see all of this that's happening because I don't feel like I can do anything to change it because I'm just one person and I don't have the type of voice that somebody else has who has a huge platform available to them to be able to go out and make these enormous changes in the world. And now I'm thinking about it and I was like, that's not true anymore. Now we actually do have that ability to get on, and one little video, one little message could do tremendous wonders for many, many people, unlike before when we didn't have that type of reach. And then I thought a little bit deeper with it. So not only do we have access to platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, the standard things, not only do we have access to those, but we also need to remember the platforms that we've always have had access to that are easy to forget that we have because they're not glorified. They're not put on this grand scale and we're not shown just how special and important and wonderful they are. And these are platforms like your dinner table, being with your family at the end of the day, or even at the start of the day, and the conversation that takes place there and the energy that is around you and the other people in that moment. These are platforms like your car if you're driving Uber or Lyft or something, or a taxi cab. That's your office space. That is your own personal platform. If you're a therapist in an office and you're meeting with a client and everything, that office space is part of your platform. If you're a teacher in a classroom, guess what? You have a platform right there with your students. Same thing if you're a healthcare worker or a nurse or a doctor. Each room that you enter into to work with a patient is a new platform. And this, of course, expands out beyond that. These are just a few examples of professions. But any profession, anything that you're doing, basically everywhere you go, you are carrying with you, in essence, your own personal platform. And it's so important, I feel, for us to start examining how we want to utilize the platforms that we have access to. Because now we do have a grand reach. Now we do have a grand scale, and then we also still have the smaller scales of platforms that we had long before we ever had Google or the internet or anything else, right? And so I encourage us to start thinking about how do we want to show up in these platforms? What kind of energy do we want to be bringing to them? Because that is so hugely important. I see a lot of times on my Facebook news feed, I'll just be scrolling through there just quickly, seeing if there's anything really important going on. And so I'm seeing less and less really important things happening, actually. So I'm on there even less and less now because of that. But then I scroll and I'm like seeing just these sarcastic memes. Or, oh, I can't wait until it's the weekend and then everything's better on the weekend and my week sucks and I just have to get through this time. We're always so constantly just trying to get through something and get to something else, and then we share that frustration and, in essence, sort of like venting to the people on our Facebook platform or our Instagram platform, that frustration. Not taking a step back for a moment and inquiring within and seeing like, wait a minute, what energy am I actually putting out there into the world, and is that the energy that I want to be putting out onto my platform? I might be frustrated right now. I might be hurting. I might be in that space. And is that how I want to utilize my voice in this space? And your answer might be yes. That might be exactly how it works for you. And then you might take a step back and say, like, well, wait a minute, I actually want more positivity in my life. I actually want to be able to attract more of what I want to see in the world. And it's not just a mere cliche to say that we are actually meant to be the change that we want to see in the world. And it actually does begin with us. That's not just some random meme for us to see on a Facebook page. That is actuality. There is nothing else that we can change other than ourselves. And so with that being the case, when you take that step back and you're like, wait a minute, do I want to continue to perpetuate frustration, irritation, anger, separation, division, or do I want to start to cultivate something that I do want to see in the world, which might be togetherness. It might be increased understanding. It might be being able to welcome in different viewpoints. Which direction would I like to take? And am I showing up in my platform representing the representation of what I want to see taking place in the world? And again, whether your platform is your dinner table or Facebook or a grand stage at a concert somewhere, whatever your platform is, how do you want to show up? How do you want to utilize it? What energy do you want to be behind that? But I think it's important to remember the energy factor. It's something that we haven't been taught to pay attention to in this world. We haven't been taught that we are energetic beings. We haven't been taught that we are energetically connected to everybody else. And when I show up and I use my platform in a way to speak negativity and separation and division amongst people, I am also putting forth the energy that goes with that and sharing that energy with other people. And then it causes that ripple effect, right? That reactionary kind of effect that happens, when you're in that type of negative space. And then I also have the choice of I don't have to show up in that particular way. I can decide, well, no, wait a minute, that's not what I want to perpetuate in the world. I would like to go in a different direction than that. So how can I share memes or messages or quotes or videos that help to lift myself and others up rather than squashing us down and just staying stuck in the same old, same old? I mean, really? When you think about it, if you're just simply putting stuff out there that's all about how you can't wait for your day to be over and how you can't wait for the next day or this sucks or your job stinks and nothing's ever going to get better, that's really perpetuating something. Haven't we already been in that space? Wasn't that some time ago that we were in that space? And is that where you want to keep going? Do you just always want to be talking about the start of every Monday just getting to your Friday? Is that how you would like your life to look? If it is, awesome, fine. If it's not, all right, wait a minute. One place to start to change that is to look at your own platform and how you're going to use it. With that energy being said, I started to think about communication. And there was a professor, I'm going to have to look at the spelling of his name because I'm not sure I'm going to pronounce this correctly, but Dr. Mehrabian, it's Mehrabian. It's a professor who came up with a famous study there's a couple of studies actually, who, many of us have heard this before, that most of our communication is nonverbal. In fact, what he said was 7% of our communication is verbal, 38% is the tone of our voice, and 55% is visual or our body language, equaling 93% as being nonverbal in our communication. That is a lot. That's actually part of why I like the video aspect rather than just writing text. Because I can sit there and in my mind I could have written the most fabulous text that I think I could have written to express what it is I want to say, but it doesn't have my tone of voice. It doesn't have any kind of eye contact. There's no animation physically and everything through that text. I can try to infuse the text with the energy that I want to be in it. But that's still only part of it, right? You're still only going to pick up on a portion of the communication that I'm trying to relay and share with you. And then, so I thought about that fact. So there's those numbers, and there's some debate, of course, on exactly are these percentages all correct or not. And that doesn't matter. The point is that our communication is multi-leveled. It's multidimensional in a way, right? You know, we have different aspects to it, and being aware of that. I want to add in the energy aspect, because I feel like that is so huge. And maybe that is part of that body language, that visual piece. But you can pick up on energy even when you don't see something visually too. So you don't have to see something visually to get the energy behind it. You can get the energy through that tone of voice, right? It'll come through the sound that the person is making when they're speaking with you. I mean, you can tell a difference between, oh yeah, I've had a good day. Yeah, okay, well, I'm going to the park tomorrow. I think it should be fun. Versus, man, I have had an amazing day, and tomorrow I'm going to be going to the park. Can't wait. This is so exciting. Same message, but not, right? Completely different energetically, completely different in tone of voice. And I'm bringing this part up because that is part of what we need to be paying attention to become more self-aware of when it comes to how we use our platform. What energy do we want behind it? What tone of voice do we want behind it? You know, how do we want it to look? If we are going to put a message out there, how can we relay it as clearly as possible to express what it is that we are wanting to say? And so I want to wrap this up here and just remind you that, you know, no matter who you are or where you are, or whether you think you have a voice or whether you think you have a platform or not, you do. You do have a voice, you do have a platform, and you have the power to be able to choose how you want to show up in it. Do you want to go the route of perpetuating that same old negative type of stance of like the pattern that we used to be in, with just trying to get through something and just being critical of it, of whatever's taking place in our lives, and just complaining over and over and over and over and over again? Or do you want to say, no, wait a minute, I have this opportunity with my platform, no matter what my platform is, to completely go a different route? And when you make that choice, that has just as much of a ripple effect as the other choice does. Except for now it's having a ripple effect of helping to spread that positivity out to other people. And helping them to see, hey, wait a minute, that person's not posting a lot of negative memes anymore, and they're not just being sarcastic all the time. What happened? What? Wait a minute. What happened to this person? I don't understand. Because they'll be like, there's been a shift. There's been an energetic shift with that individual. They've decided to go on a different path. And you may very well be the one who encourages somebody else to also use their platform in a new way and take a different path. That somebody may be your child. That somebody may be your student. That somebody may be your patient. That somebody may be a client that you have. That somebody may be somebody who you open a door for when you go to the grocery store. You have no idea who it's going to be. But what you do know is that you get to choose how you show up and how you use all these amazing tools that we have access to now that we never had before. All right, on that note, I'm going to wrap this up and say goodbye for now. Thank you for joining me. I'm happy to have you here. If you're enjoying my messages, I do hope that you'll join me on this journey and subscribe, like, comment, get notifications, all that good stuff that all of us YouTubers are supposed to say, right? But it comes with the platform. So take care of yourselves. Until next time, I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.